Well, Neil, you've had a little bit of time to look back at the defeat at Derby at the weekend. What have you taken away from that one?
Well, obviously the result disappointing. Really, there were one or two things I thought it was nice to see Mendes have half an hour, and I thought Cabana did okay in what he had to do. But there were one or two disappointing performances. But that's how it is. We did miss. I think we missed Dale and Tavel as you would do, and Yannick. But we've got to get on with it now. No good feeling sorry for ourselves. We've got to just get on with it and try and put a team out now that shows the enthusiasm and the will to go and try and win a game.
Yeah, you mentioned Balassi to us in the post-match interview about him pulling up at the end of training. Have you got any more kind of details on length of time with him and indeed with Dale Fry and Marcus Tavernier?
Not really. I mean, we came in yesterday and I had a good chat with Dale and Tav. They stepped up training a lot yesterday. But with so many games, I don't want to risk for the sake of one game or two games. We've got so many big games coming up. It's more important that they are okay and that we have them then for the running. It's like anything else. You don't realise how important players are till you haven't got them, do you? Really? I suppose that's everywhere. I think even Liverpool are looking at that now, aren't they? When you look at Van Dijk missing, it's you don't think it would have that sort of effect, but we have missed these lads. But now the opportunity comes, and we've got games thick and fast coming up now. And I don't see a reason. I think there's still a decent group, and I've got to, I think when you're a manager, it's how you get out of bad runs, not how you do when you're top of the league and you're flying. That's what you get paid for. Make sure you make decisions and get the results back on the road.
Yeah, you've had a really strong season, especially when you look. Last year as an example of how things were at Boro. Can you put your finger on what it is that's changed in recent weeks?
I think I can, yeah, but I can't publicly say what I think.
Fair enough. And another big kind of part in the good form before this run was the home form. How important is it that you change and get back to the good home form that you showed earlier in the season as soon as possible?
Yeah, I had a feeling that was that would be a turning point, the Blackburn game, where we were flying, and I think we'd have gone on then, and that's all it takes. It takes one big disappointment, and we haven't seemed to got over that. I can see. One or two lads now getting back a little bit of form, but we've just got to get on with it now. You don't realise how many other teams. I looked at the weekend and I saw that Stoke hadn't won for 11, 12 games or something like that. So it's not just us. It seems to be the whole league at times.
And it's 6 points now, the gap to the playoff places. You spoke after the Brentford game about how important it was to just get back to winning ways and regain some confidence. How important is it that you try and keep that gap as small as possible as well?
Well, we'd like to. I mean, you don't want to see your season just peter out. So we want to try and get the right result. But we want it for our own sake, anyhow. We want it to put a performance on for the fans. There's still a lot for people to show me what they can do, really. There's one or two people playing for the futures, really, and that's how I see it. They've got to stand up and be counted now.
I mean, we've spoken about how tight the championship is before, but I was looking at the league table before you came in to chat. There was 3 points between Cardiff just above you guys and then 15th placed Luton. Is it even tighter than ever this year, Neil?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, another defeat and everybody else winning, and we're in the bottom half, aren't we? So that's how close it is, the championship. But it always has been. You can't expect to go on a run like we've been on in the last few games and stay up there. So we've got to turn it around. It's got to come from within, from myself, staff, and the players. We've got to turn that round. And with so many games coming up, we have got opportunities.
Huddersfield, of course, next up. 3-2 defeat down there earlier in this season. What did you make of them under Carlos Corberán?
Well, that was one of the biggest disappointments. I think that game and Norwich were the two big disappointments for me, where I thought we should have got 6 points, But we had half an hour where we couldn't defend for our lives. And we just, we kept giving the ball away stupidly and got punished. They've got players that can punish you. Fraser Campbell and the wide lad, I can't remember his name now, scored the winning goal. He always looked a threat. So we know what we're up against. It's just that we've got to put our own house in order.
Yeah, looking at your own house, you mentioned Nathaniel Mendez-Lang coming on at the weekend. How close do you think he is to be more involved in, I don't want to say ready to start yet, but more involved to play longer than he did?
Well, like I say, I came in yesterday to see Dale and Tavan, and Mendes voluntarily came in yesterday, stiff as a bowl he was, after 30 minutes. When you've not played for a long time, it's amazing how, even though you think you're fit, when that level when you're on the pitch, there's nothing quite like it. So it will have done him the world of good, but he was really stiff and had to loosen up yesterday really to. I think he should be all right today, but I thought it was good to see him in yesterday, I must admit.
And just finally from me, Neil, obviously team spirit's a big thing that's been talked about at Rockcliffe this year. How confident are you that the players are in good spirit and everything to turn this recent run around quickly?
Well, they are a good group. We haven't got a lot of what I would call leaders and the type of lad that I've had in other clubs, but we've got some ability and we've got to generate that. And people like Paddy and Johnny Howson have got to stand up a little bit more, and that's what I'll be asking them to do. And ability-wise, we've got to put a team out that I think is going to be the best shot to try and get a result with, despite the injuries that we've got.
Thanks very much, Neil.
Cheers.
Good luck.
Keith, where are you, Keith?
Hi, Neil.
Gotcha. Yeah. Hi,
Neil. I know you spoke about Nathaniel over the weekend after he made his debut. Just how has he been over the weekend after everything, obviously, that came out on Friday?
I think everything was a relief, Keith, if I'm honest. It's been underneath for a long time. And you could see the relief when everything was out in the open. I've known about it for a while. And as you've seen with his statement, I think he's a lad who knows he's made mistakes. But, we've just got to get on with it now. I think I've said to him now, and we're not mentioning it again. We've got 17, 16 games. I can't remember how many we've got left now. And you've just got to try and get yourself fit where you can start every game. That's his first challenge now, rather than half an hour. But you saw on Saturday, he is an exciting player. When he's fully fit, he doesn't think of anything other than being positive. That's what I like about him, and it'll be a good asset to us when he's up to scratch.
With everything that's happened, do you feel like a bit of a father figure to him? Do you feel you
I think a manager, not just Nathaniel, really. I think there's a lot of young lads in the club, really, a lot more than I've ever had. I was talking to Tav yesterday, and he's only a young lad, isn't he, Tav, and people like that. And Tav asked me if I'd missed his moaning face, and I said, I do miss you moaning at me, son, yeah. So we had a bit of a laugh at that. But people like Tav need guidance. We've got quite a few young lads, and it's I don't think anybody realises at this moment in time how bad it is. We're lucky that we've got that outlet that we can go and play on a Saturday, but it's still a very quiet. With the pandemic and young lads in particular, I'm not. You've got to keep your eye on them all because you don't know the ones that do get themselves down a little bit.
Yeah, and just speaking generally, I mean, just listening to you there, you still sound pretty upbeat despite results not being so good of late. Is this the kind of time of the season when things aren't going well that you need to be like that if you're to come through this and get what you want come the end?
Yeah, I think you're obviously disappointed, Keith, after a game and the journey home on Saturday. Are you with me? But at the same time, by about 7 o'clock on Saturday night, I'd got my team for tomorrow night in my mind then. I rang Ronnie and told him what my team were going to be and Blackie. And I've not changed my mind since then. So it's one of those things you have to move on. It was another game that for me we should have won, but we haven't done, and we've said that a few times this year.
And how are you finding the relentlessness of it this year? Because it's relentless, the Championship at the best of times, but this is a different level this season, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you can see with the number of injuries everywhere, it's all right having the best physical, coaches and physios and etc. But there's so much pressure and stress on the muscles now with the recovery, and we're hitting a period now of Saturday, Tuesday, whatever it is, for the next 4 or 5, 6 weeks, aren't we? And then, for the Irish lads, there's no rest up at all. The only week we have free, they're playing 3 games in 9 days or something like that. It's relentless, really. I think everybody will be glad to get to the end of the season and hope that the next season can be planned as it always has been. You know what I mean, Keith? Where there's enough rest in between and not so much travelling and so many problems. That's why I'm really glad I'm having the injection today, because I think that's the way forward. Everybody getting injected in the next 3-4 months, where we can start socialising again and having that banter that you need. And when I see the parents dying and they can't be at the side of them, it's unbelievable what we're having to go through at the minute. So whilst we've got problems and footballers got problems, I feel sorry for. There's a lot more people that I feel sorry for than footballers and myself.
And will that take a weight off your mind once you've had that this afternoon then?
Absolutely, Keith. Yeah, I can't wait for it, mate. I think all along it's been. I think we're very fortunate. I know we've had problems and we've made mistakes, but we've never come across this before. Even the government's never come across anything like this. So there has been mistakes, but you've got to take your hat off. We're the best in the world, aren't we? Apart from Israel, with the number of vaccinations, it's an incredible feat for the scientists and the government to have 15 million already. I think it's we should take the hat off to them.
Thanks, Neil.
Cheers, Keith.
Yes, you were talking about Nathaniel before, and I know you said the other week that you'd spoken to his mum and stuff as well as him before he came. You do feel that he's in the best place now, don't you? I
do. It's a great environment up here, and he's with a good group of players really. They've taken him on board, and it's. I think he's, like I say. I don't think he could have gone anywhere better. They had a few options to go, but I think all along he knew that he was, in this particular case, he's better off coming here and getting his career back on track.
Have you, as you've got older and more experienced in management, have you changed the way you respond to defeats at all? Do you kind of shrug them off more easily now? Do you forget them more easily now than you used to when you were a younger manager?
Well, I forget more easily now, but that's nothing to do with the football. That's my age. Unfortunately, losing a game of football doesn't improve as you get older, because I always feel, especially games that you should win. I don't think there's many games this year that we couldn't have won really. So I do get frustrated, because you feel sorry for yourself really when your best players are missing and you know that you should have won or could have won. But that's how it goes. You've just got to get on with it. And like you say, life's, it's flying past at the moment. And I want to do the best I can while I'm in the position up here. I want to try and let the fans enjoy them, enjoy the games and that. That's what and the fans enjoy winning as well. So there's nothing better than a winning side.
So ultimately, how disappointed would you be then if Middlesbrough don't manage to make the playoffs at the end of the season?
Well, I won't be. I think we are, quite a lot better position than we were. I think there's still a lot of work to be done in the next few months. I think the club has got to gear itself up now. There's got to be quite 1 or 2 changes around the place before it becomes successful. And I'll be talking to Steve and Neil in the next few weeks, and what I feel the club needs to do really. Every club is in the same situation, I would imagine, but I think there needs to be certain changes at the club now, looking forward, and hopefully the club can move forward, because it's a great club. And got facility wise, academy wise, it's I think they do a good job up here. But it's one of those things that I'm disappointed because I do feel that with a bit of luck we would have been right up there at the moment. So it is a little bit frustrating for me. It wouldn't be so bad if I was a younger manager, because you can always say, I can do this and do that, and next season will come. But like I say, it's very. I only look at yesterday's game. I don't look too far ahead.
Are you not looking forward to next season yet then?
Well, it depends on the position that I find myself in. I think at the end of the season, I'd like to see a response from I'd like to see now if I can get a system or what have you where we can create more chances and score goals, because we don't look like we're going to score at the minute. So we've got to try certain things, and that's what I will have to do.